Hi, Andre.
Hello, Georgie.
While I was in Syria, I discovered a strange pagan statue. It was like a head with 3 bearded faces. Horrible.
That sounds as if it could be Bafomet, the idol described by the Templars.
The poor Knights of Christ had an idol that looked like that?
Allegedly. The description of the idol came from the evidence extracted by the Inquisition. Mind you, not one statue or idol was ever found on Templar property. Until now, that is. Just last month, a statue of Bafomet was unearthed right here in Paris.
Where?
At the Institut Hermétique de Naval. The statue is beneath the foundations. It was discovered by some workmen while renovating the building.
Can you tell me any more about the statue of Bafomet?
It's a fearful image, even now, a bearded head. The base of the statue is carved with Templar symbols. One of the workmen noticed a curious stain at the base. He claimed it looked like blood.
Blood?
That's right.
What do you make of this cup, Andre?
It's a 14th century communion vessel. Spanish, probably.
You sure know your onions. Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
There was a dumpster full of debris. From the excavation, I guessed. The painter had a pot of gunmetal gray primer hanging from the barrier. Excuse me, could you help me?
What is it?
I've got a few questions. What does the word Templar suggest to you?
Templar?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You're doing a fine job.
Merci. I have my professional pride.
I don't think I've ever seen a Gauloise smoked so stylishly.
It's a natural talent.
I'm being sarcastic.
I'm being indifferent.
You're very good at that as well.
Merci. Vive l'indifférence.
So, what are you doing here?
I am having my break.
Yeah, I mean when you finish your break.
When I finish my break? An interesting concept, monsieur.
You'll probably need to think about it.
I could have another cigarette while I consider. Perhaps tomorrow too?
Okay, let me put things differently. What were you hired to do here?
I was hired to keep the archaeological dig in the basement of this building clear of debris, and to touch up damage to the door frames with my little pot of paint. It's a very responsible job. Unfortunately, I'm not a very responsible person.
So what do you know about the excavation?
I know they won't let me in to do my job. I would complain to my union, but là...
You couldn't be bothered to join.
Right. Tell you what, though. I'm surprised at the sort of people interested in this excavation.
What's unusual about the visitors to the excavation?
None of them look like archaeologists to me.
Do you know what an archaeologist looks like?
3-piece suits, crocodile-eyed attaché cases, Rolex oyster.
But no archaeologist dresses like that.
Quite right, monsieur, quite right.
So, who are they?
Who cares as long as they pay me?
Have you seen this man before?
Yes, he asked me a lot of questions, just like you.
Be seeing you.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Hi? Excuse me?
Oui?
What do you know about the Knights Templar? There was a long pause during which the guard said nothing. Then he said,
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
Is this a test?
What, like a history pop test?
No, like a test.
Okay, yes, it's a test.
Then I know absolutely nothing about the Templars.
The guard was being amazingly evasive. It was going to take more than goodwill to get past him. So, what exactly are you doing here?
I'm guarding. You expect to find me shearing sheep?
Take it easy, I just didn't realize you were a guard. I'd like to know what you're guarding, please.
That's a secret.
It wouldn't happen to be an archaeological site, would it?
Are you asking me or telling me?
I'm telling you.
Then why ask?
I had a feeling this was no normal hole in the ground. Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
A thermostat was mounted over a radiator. The radiator was pumping out heat as the thermostat was cranked right over to full. No wonder it was warm in here, even with the door open to the chill of fall. The doorway was full of assorted old tea chests, cardboard boxes, and so on, all empty and all uninteresting. There was a telephone on the far wall. There was a closed door with toilet scratched into the cheap veneer. There was a closed door with toilet scratched into the cheap veneer.
That door's locked, monsieur.
Hi again.
What is it?
It sure is hot in here.
I have to have the door open to allow the workmen access, so why not? I turn the heat up.
You could wrap up warm.
I have my gloves if it gets cold, but why bother when it's warm anyway?
Trying to get into a locked washroom. I had the strongest feeling of déjà vu. I'd like to use the washroom, but the door's locked.
Oh, that's no problem. You can have the key.
Thanks. Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
On the keyring was a big old key that looked like it might fit the excavation door. A hand dryer was mounted on the wall. If the Club Alamet had used one of these instead of a roller towel, I'd probably still be stuck in Marib. A bin stood in the corner. It didn't look like it had been emptied for a while. I wasn't that interested in what might go into a restroom's garbage to investigate. I didn't need to get near to tell the toilet needed cleaning. Being in a charming comfort station like this made me think fondly of the toilet in Syria. That place was kept in pretty good order. At least, it had been until I vandalized it. Still, it was all for a good cause. Being in a charming comfort station like this made me think fondly of the toilet in Syria. That place was kept in pretty good order. At least, it had been until I vandalized it. Still, it was all for a good cause. There was a big old boiler used for heating the building. The thing felt really hot. Big demands seemed to be being made on it. I didn't want to use that unless I really had to. I made an impression of the big key in the cake of soap. I carefully sprinkled the plaster into the soap mold I'd made of the key. Well, it had taken a while, but I had made myself a completely unconvincing plaster key, way too fragile to use in a lock. I'd have to substitute it for the real one. Trouble was, it looked like plaster and not metal. Then again, that plaster statue in Syria hadn't looked like stone until I'd been a bit artful with it. Maybe I could improve the key as well.
What is it?
Here's the keys. Thanks.
Merci, monsieur.
Hi, it's me again.
What now?
Be seeing you.
Au revoir, monsieur. Hey, monsieur! Get away from my paint pot!
Okay.
I should think so. Meddling with a man's paint pot. Pah!
Do you mind if I use the phone?
Be my guest. I'm paid to guard this door. The phone can look after itself.
Couleur.
Hi, Nico. It's me. I'm at the excavation site.
Hi, George. What's happening?
I'm at the excavation, but they won't let me in.
Damn. We need to know what's in there.
Don't worry. I've got a scheme. I'm going to need your help, though.
Okay. What do you want me to do?
I want you to keep somebody on the phone for a while.
Who?
A painter. I need to get at his pot.
Oh, okay.
Stay on the line. I'll go and get him. Hi, it's me again.
What now?
You've got a phone call.
For me? Are you certain?
It's a woman. She sounded hot.
What woman? You must be mistaken, monsieur.
Well, she asked for that hunk of a man with the nicotine fingers in his ass hanging out of his pants.
Certainly sounds like me. Stand back. It wouldn't do to keep the lady from her hunk.
The plaster key had soaked up the paint nicely, and now looked pretty convincing. Still felt like plaster, though.
Well, monsieur, what a strange woman. She was all over me, and then suddenly, nothing but abuse.
Really?
Why, abuse? Ah well, I have a cigarette to finish. And monsieur, if she calls again, I am not available.
Hi again.
What is it?
I need to use the toilet again.
Again? Already?
I have this problem. How technical do you want me to get?
Never mind. Here's the key.
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Quickly and without fuss, I swapped the fake key for the real thing.
What is it?
I couldn't give him the keys. The false key looked pretty convincing, but it felt exactly like what it was. Painted plaster. He was bound to detect it. I figured I'd best not bother Nico again until I'd got a good reason. I turned the heating off. Hi again.
What is it?
I held my breath and hoped that he wouldn't notice the substitution. Here's the keys. Thanks.
Merci, monsieur.
Talk to you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Hi, Nico. It's me again.
I'd guessed. What do you want this time?
What did you say to the painter?
I shan't repeat it, George.
Look, I need to get the guard out of the way. Could you call back and ask him to get the painter again?
Okay, I'll call back soon.
This looked like a good place to watch things develop.
Hey, you! It's the phone.
Yeah? Who is it?
How should I know? What am I, your social secretary?
It's not a chick, is it?
Yes, it's a woman. Are you going to answer it?
Does she have a warm, sensual voice like molten chocolate?
Yes, she has a really sexy voice. Now get a move on.
I'm not talking to her.
I can see that. You're wasting time talking to me.
No, you don't understand. I refuse to talk to her.
You refuse. You refuse. I'm wasting valuable time.
Don't make me laugh. Your time valuable? You just stand around all day.
I have a highly responsible job. Pah! Don't pah me, you elephantine oaf. My job is important.
Impossible. They would have hired somebody competent in that case.
Meaning what?
Instead of which they hired a dismal rent-a-cop like you. All epaulettes and no brains.
Why, you...
This looked set to carry on for some time. It was too good an opportunity to miss. Some planks used to make the catwalk were leaning against the wall. In the middle of the floor was a weird mosaic, all swirling and distorted. Now there's a familiar face. There was no doubt about it. It was the same sort of idol I'd seen in Syria, Bafomet. The Templars had certainly been through here. Close up, the pattern didn't make any sort of sense. It fanned out around an axis point, a kind of focus to one side. Oh, great. More dead people. Although the gendarmes weren't likely to pull in any suspects unless they had a time machine. This guy must have been here for centuries. And there it was, decoded by the curves of the chalice, the image of a church. I found out what the chalice was for.
You've solved the puzzle?
Yeah, there was a distorted picture at the Bafomet site. When I viewed it in the polished surface of the chalice, it changed.
What did it show?
A picture of a church with a square tower. I guess I'd better return the chalice to the Countess.
Hurry back, Georges.
I'd been planning to return the chalice anyway, but I hadn't expected the trail to bring me here. The Villa de Vasconcelos was as picturesque as ever. The weather was still clear, and Lopez was still watering the damn lawn. I was beginning to suspect that he was surgically attached to that hose. Hi there, Lopez. How's tricks?
Senor Stobbarta, how pleasant to see you. You are well.
Fine, thanks. Is the Countess in?
She is waiting for you. I will show you up.
It's okay, I know the way.
Senor Stobbarta, I feel I owe you an apology.
No, you don't.
I was impolite on our first meeting.
Look, Lopez, just forget about it. I came on like a snake oil merchant. I wouldn't have trusted me in your shoes.
You do not understand. Finding the chalice has given my lady a new lease of life. It's a marvel. She smiles, she laughs. The tradesmen are saying that she is on Prozac.
I love suits of armor. Who doesn't? Must have been traveling pretty fast when he hit the wall. Must have been traveling pretty fast when he hit the wall. I didn't want an example of the taxidermist's art. There was a big aspidistra sitting on a table in the hall. It was just a little utility room with no exit, unless you counted the window, and I didn't.
Senor Stobbarta, oh, what a pleasure. Please, sit down.
Hi, Countess. The pleasure's all mine. I've brought back your chalice.
Why? You've had it cleaned.
Yeah, I met an obliging priest with a soft cloth.
Have you resolved the Templar mystery?
No, not yet. I don't even know what it is I'm after.
There are many stories of the knight secreting great wealth away.
Whatever. All I know is I don't want the bad guys to get it.
To be young and live in a world of moral absolutes.
There's something else that I discovered carved on Don Carlos's tomb. Biblical references.
What are the references, Senor Stobbarta?
Psalms 32:7, Corinthians.
I am not a good enough scholar to know the Bible chapter and verse. I meant, what are the quotations?
You know, I forgot to ask the priest. I discovered something amazing with that chalice. In Paris, I found a church where they recognized the coat of arms. I found the tomb of Don Carlos de Vasconcelos.
You are sure? There can be no mistake?
The coat of arms on the chalice matches the one on the tomb.
Incredible. You have my most profound thanks. I must go there as soon as possible.
Yeah? Well, I'd be happy to show you the city. I'll have a look around if that's okay.
My home is your home. I shall remain here.
The fire was made up and ready, waiting for the year to turn cold. Beside the fire was a stack of logs for fuel. Military hardware, medieval style. I came here to solve a mystery, not go jousting. There was a boar's head over the fire. It didn't look very happy. Must be hard to look happy when you're wearing a chimney breast. An old grandfather clock stood against the wall. I doubted the Templars had hidden anything in there. There was a bookcase, bureau kind of affair. I didn't recognize any of the titles, apart from an ancient edition of Don Quixote. The de Vasconcelos Mausoleum, where 5 Templars lie. Hello again. Here's the Bible from the mausoleum.
Very well. Let us begin. The first reference.
Psalms 32:7.
Thou art my hiding place. Thou shalt preserve me from trouble. Thou shalt compass me about with songs of deliverance. My hiding place.
Don't get your hopes up too high. This might just be leading us to where we found the chalice.
You are right, of course. The next.
Okay, John 4:11.
John 4:11. Here. The well is deep. The next. Quickly.
Okay. Corinthians 4:5.
Here it is. Will bring to light the hidden things. Any more?
Just one. Psalms again. 22:21.
Save me from the lion's mouth, for thou hast heard me from the horns of the unicorns. The last is confusing. Lions, unicorns, what does it mean?
I can't guess.
Salient points seem to be a hiding place and a deep well. In no sense is the mausoleum a well, Senor Stobart.
Is there a well in the grounds?
I do not know. I suppose that there must have been once upon a time. Lopez is the man to ask about anything pertaining to the estate.
I'll just have another look around.
Very well.
Hi, Lopez. Got a minute?
Certainly, senor. How can I help you?
What's the story behind the chalice vanishing?
When the Inquisition raided, in the absence of Don Carlos, it was believed that they had taken it. Naturally, they denied the charge as they denied taking the children. And naturally, nobody believed them.
But they were telling the truth. The chalice was hidden from them. You don't suppose they were telling the truth about the children as well, do you?
Madre de Dios! I had not thought of that. But then what happened to them?
I don't know. If the Inquisition didn't take them, then who did?
You must speak to my lady of these.
Count on it. So the Countess feels that the curse is lifted.
I would not put it so strongly. Your discovery of the chalice was proof that the Templars never abandoned the de Vasconcelos. It counts for a great deal with my lady.
You must know just about everything that there is to know about this place.
See, I have lived my whole life here in the service of the de Vasconcelos.
Do you know of a well anywhere around here?
A well? Si, senor. This used to be a fortified villa. How can you last a siege without water?
Great! So where is it?
How should I know? The well was covered over in the last century. It was dangerous, you see.
And you have no idea where it was?
None. It was hidden even before my grandfather's time.
Well, you must have a vague idea of where the well is.
It must have been in the old house's courtyard, so that would put it around here.
Here? Okay. Now how do we find it?
There might be a way. Let me think about it.
Any ideas yet?
Not as yet, Senor Stobart. I shall give it more thought.
Catch you later, Lopez.
Adios, Senor Stobart.
Hello again. Mind if I sit?
Please, be my guest.
There's still the mystery of that missing chess piece.
I do not think that it will ever be discovered unless the fate of the children is revealed.
The Inquisition were suspected of taking the chalice and the kids, right? We know now they were innocent of the first crime. What if...
They did not take the children either. Then what happened to them?
The Inquisition admitted to killing Don Carlos's manservant. Now, this guy had been told to protect the kids at all costs, right?
That is correct.
I think he hid them and the chalice when he got wind that the Inquisition was coming. With him dead, and Don Carlos driven mad with grief, there was nobody left who knew the secret. You know what this means, don't you?
I fear so. The children are still here somewhere. If this is so, then it is small wonder that the de Vasconcellos are cursed.
I'll have a look around if that's okay.
My home is your home. I shall remain here.
The candle had burnt brilliantly, but only for a couple of minutes. Some kind of special formulation, I guess. And had yielded up this. A complex shape expertly cut in stone. I figured it was some kind of key. The tissue was pretty charred, but the grease paint had done most of the burning. It was a smooth, intricately carved piece of stone that had been concealed inside the great candle.
Hi, Lopez. Got a minute?
Certainly, senor. How can I help you?
Any ideas yet?
We are looking for a source of water, see?
Yes.
For generations, the Spanish country folk have had a secret way of locating water, even if it is meters beneath the ground.
Ah, you're not talking about water dousing, are you?
Eh?
You know, you get a stick and walk around until the stick twitches and dig there.
Oh, you've heard of it.
Yeah, I think most of the planet has. Okay, let's get a stick.
Uno momento. It must be a special stick, a Y of hazel.
Right. Do you have any hazel trees?
See, here. That is hazel.
Catch you later, Lopez.
Adios, Senor Stobbarta.
So that was what a hazel tree looks like. I went over to find a suitable stick. I don't believe it. There wasn't a single usable Y-shaped branch on the whole damn thing. I went over to find a suitable stick. I don't believe it. I went over to find a suitable... There wasn't a single I went over to find a suitable stick. Aha! It was a thin, supple twig of hazel. Hi, Lopez. Got a minute?
Certainly, senor. How can I help you?
Well, I got my divining rod. Now what?
Simplicity itself, senor. Hold the wand at the upper ends of the Y. Apply a little tension with your wrists so that the slightest movement of the wand's tip is clear, and walk slowly and steadily over the area.
Sounds easy enough. We'll find this well in no time.
Senor Stobbarta, you've found something.
This is it. This is where we find the secret of the Templars. Hidden here for hundreds of years. Lost from the sight of man until now. The mystery is revealed.
It's a tin can.
I've been walking up and down with a twig in my hands, looking for a tin can.
It had water in it. That's what the dowsing stick must have detected.
I'd have to check with an archaeologist, but I don't think the Templars left that.
In truth, Senor Stobbarta, the loan was laid many, many years ago. This can could date back to the Napoleonic Wars.
Get rid of it and I'll try it again. Lopez threw the can away. It seemed to fall an awfully long way. The splash at the end confirmed what we both suspected. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle.
It has been here all the time. All those years and nobody found it.
Stood in awe for a moment, marveling at the secrets all around us.
I could have fallen down that.
The well had been lost for decades at least. The air was cool after the noon sun, but that's not what gave me goosebumps. I have a really, really bad feeling about this.